So in this video, we're going to kick off our discussion on the creation of corridors in Civil 3D. But before we can create any corridors, we first have to have the backbone to a corridor, which is an assembly. So we're going to go ahead and create 3 different assemblies for our drawing. And in order to create assemblies, what you have to do is you need to navigate up to the Home tab of the ribbon bar, get into the Create Design section, and drop down the Assembly tab. From here, we're going to go ahead and select Create Assembly. And inside of here, we're going to choose a name. So we're going to create 3 of them. I'm going to call one of them Dev No Target. We're going to create a Dev No Target, a Dev Target, and then a cul-de-sac. So I'm going to do Dev No Target now. We're going to go with basic and all codes. So this is the assembly style, and there are code sets associated with assemblies. So the code sets have to deal with certain links and points inside of our assembly, and I'll show you in a second what those links and points are, and then we can deal with these later. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And so what Civil 3D is now going to ask me to do is specify an assembly baseline location. An assembly baseline is basically where you build your assembly off of. So where you're going to link that assembly onto your alignment. So we're going to go ahead and select below our profile, and Civil 3D automatically zooms in on this baseline for us because, as you'll see in a little bit, when we zoom out, these baselines are pretty small. So to build off of this baseline, the next thing we need to do is we need to open a new toolbar that we haven't used before. And up inside of your palettes window, you're going to go ahead and click on this Tool Palettes button. And inside the Tool Palettes button, you're going to get a new window that looks like this, and it has assembly pieces, so sub-assemblies. So inside of here, under Common Assemblies, you can pick fully created roads and just select them and then change the parameters and place them into your drawing. And that's great for some instances if you need to do something very fast. But for our application, we have a very specific roadway. So we're going to go ahead and go into this basic Imperial Basic Subassemblies section. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this based off of Basic Lane first. Basic Lane doesn't have any targets. It's just a width, depth, and slope requirements. So every time you select one of these objects, this parameter window shows up over here with all the different parameters for the subassembly piece that you've just selected. So I'm going to select Basic Lane. I'm going to start working from the baseline and go right. And so these are being built as you're driving down the center line of your road. So we're going to go to the right first. We're going to go at a width of, we know our road is 15 feet wide. I'm not going to change the depth, and I'm going to leave the slope as -2%. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and get back into my drawing window, and I'm going to select my baseline. I can select anywhere on this baseline, and it will place my basic lane at the center point of that baseline. So I selected the baseline, it placed my lane in here. And so when I was talking about the code sets for this assembly, I talked about saying links and points and shapes. So inside of this, if you zoom in closely, it's a little hard to see at the top here, but at the bottom you can see it very well. There's a line here that's in yellow, and then there's a purple shape. So you have links, which are the lines, you have shapes, which are the colors, and then you have points, which are these round circles here. And so all of these code to a specific point on your corridor when you build your corridor. So we're going to go ahead and now choose a curb to go into our road. So I'm going to select a curb. I'm going to make sure it's on the right side, and then I'm going to check my settings. I'm going to have a gutter width of 1.5 feet and a curb width of 0.5 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and select this upper point here. That's my link point for my subassembly. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and it now places a curb in for me. Now I'm going to go to a basic sidewalk. I'm going to go here, select basic sidewalk. I'm going to go scroll down, and I'm going to look at the side to make sure I'm on the right. And then I'm going to look at the width. I know that I have enough distance in my alignment to be able to go from my center line to my property boundary and have a 8-foot sidewalk in here. So I'm going to go ahead and change my width to 8 feet. I'm going to leave the depth as 0.33. I'm not going to change the buffer widths or anything like that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then I'm going to place my sidewalk at the top of the curb here. And then the last thing that we have to do in order to be able to make this corridor tie to our existing surface is to add in some form of a cut and fill slope. So I'm going to go with a basic side slope cut ditch. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the parameters. And so inside of these parameters, this one is a little more in depth. We have cut slopes and fill slopes and what those slope ratios are. We have a 4 slope ratio and a 4 slope width. And so the 4 slopes and the bottom widths and the back slopes all have to do with this ditch, this basic side slope and cut ditch. So when you're cutting, this entity will create a ditch in your cut section. So if I don't want to have that ditch because I know that I'm going to be very close to the existing surface, what I can go ahead and do is I can change these 4 slope widths and bottom widths and back slope widths. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to change all of these to 0. And that way it doesn't matter what my 4 slopes are and my back slopes are. I'm just going to have 0 so they'll never show up. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those in. And then I'm going to select the edge of my sidewalk. And it's going to place in this entity that looks like my cut slope layout mode and my fill slope layout mode. Now from here, what you can do is I could go back and I could do all of these objects and build them to the left, like I did to this and built it to the right. Or what you can do is you can drop a window across all of these, and then you can right click and you can choose to mirror. And so if I choose mirror, and then it will ask me to select a marker point within assembly for mirrored subassemblies. And if I select the baseline, it will mirror my road about the center. So moving on from here, I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm going to get out of that window completely. I'm going to go back into my assemblies. I'm going to create another assembly. I'm going to create a dev target, because when we're building our corridors, we're going to talk about building a corridor with no targets, and then we're going to talk about building a corridor with targets. So we're going to do a dev target. I'm going to leave all these options the same. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to place a new location for a new baseline right here. Civil 3D zooms in for me. I open my tool palettes. I'm going to go back up. Now I'm going to use this basic lane transition. And from here, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to set my default parameters, but we're going to end up using targets. So this default width isn't necessarily that big of a deal. But the one thing I do need to make sure I'm going to do to make sure my targets work correctly is set this transition here to this bottom choice, which is change offset and elevation. You have an option for hold offset and elevation, hold elevation, change offset, hold grade, change offset, and hold offset, change elevation. We want to change both the offset and the elevation because we're going to base it on an alignment with a profile. So we want to change the location and the elevation for our targets. So we're going to go ahead and select change offset and elevation, and we're going to build to the right, and we're going to insert at the crown. So we're going to go ahead and select it. Then we're going to go to our curb and gutter again, and we're going to go to the right, and we're going to build it off the top. And then we're going to go to our sidewalk, and we're going to make sure that our width is set to 8 feet. So we're going to set our width for our sidewalk at 8 feet, and we're going to place it on the back of sidewalk. And then we're going to go to our basic side slope cut ditch, and we are going to scroll down and set our 4 slope width to 0, our bottom width to 0, and our back slope width to 0. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that to the back of my sidewalk. And then I'm going to get out of this, drop a window across, right click, mirror, select my baseline, and now I have my non-targeted and my targeted. Now we're going to go through one last item. We're going to create an assembly for our cul-de-sac. And so this is a more advanced method of creating assemblies, but we'll use that later. So I'm going to go ahead and call my assembly cul-de-sac. And then I'm going to leave all of my assembly styles and my code set styles the same. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to place my baseline. Civil 3D is going to zoom me in. I'm going to open my tool palette again. This time, I'm going to do a basic lane transition. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it to the right from here. I'm going to place it in at 15 feet, even though we're going to use the target. But I'm going to change my default slope to 2 instead of -2. And I'm also going to change it to change offset and elevation. Now, the other thing that we're changing now is we are going to be building this from an edge of travelway. So I'm going to change my crown to edge of travelway, and then I'm going to select my alignment baseline. So now I'm placing my lane in here. I'm now going to go and select my curb and gutter, but because we're going to be placing this roadway based off of the edge of pavement, we're going to place our gutter on the left-hand side. So I'm going to select my side, I'm going to go to left, and then I'm going to leave everything else the same, and I'm going to select my baseline. And then I'm going to go to my sidewalk. I'm going to build to the left. I'm going to put in a width of 8 feet, and then I'm going to place it on the back of my curb. And then I'm going to go to my basic side slope cut ditch. I'm going to modify my widths to 0 for foreslope, 0 for bottom, and 0 for back slope width. And then I am going to place it on the back of my sidewalk. And I am going to hit enter. And you'll see why this works out when we build our corridor in an advanced mode, but we are going to not need an entire road to build this section of our roadway.